AMG would do anything if you'd pay them for it. Pre-merger AMG Mercedes-Benz cars have been some of the most aggressively appreciating cars in the hobby. You have top examples, the most desirable, the most special cars have 100x over the last 15 years, and over the last 5 years, 10x. I mean, the rate of appreciation of these cars is relatively unprecedented. Now that you have these cars commanding significant money, which by the way they deserve, there's a general need for refining, clarifying, and solidifying these cars' history if they are going to continue to be consumed by series collectors. And doing that is a process that you go through car by car and is done by people who have been around these cars for a very long time. So this story, I'd like to say, is a lesson in do your homework, kids, and also have good friends who know how to do their homework, kids. So as I've gone on here and discussed before, the pre-merger cars, they have so much presence, so much charisma, and much like vintage Lamborghinis, great ownership stories, like really, really rich, juicy ownership stories. That just makes chasing them really fun. And I mean, in addition to the fact that the cars, they were inherently really special and really significant. These were cars that were already best in the world, that were then massaged to be just another level of great and fast and special. They are inherently special and inherently great. They were also wildly expensive when they were new, which it sort of feeds into the juicy story aspect of it. Not the expense, but the type of person who could afford it and the type of person who said, yes, I want to spend my money on that. But this is a lesson in do your homework, kids. So the pre-merger AMG collector base is not dissimilar to many other bases of car collector, where people who become truly passionate about something decide to focus a great deal of time, energy, and obviously funds as well on that which they're passionate about. People tend to dive deep on their collectibles, and pre-merger AMG Mercedes-Benz is really no exception. A lot of the cars, especially the top end cars, are being collected by a relatively small number of guys, which again is not unusual in the car collector hobby. People become very passionate about these things. But then you have people who will then start to fall into camps, and people come in and start trying to change narratives and do this and do that. So I found a 560 SEC AMG in Japan that, to my eye, looked all there. But no one had even bothered to do a whole lot of digging on it. There's sort of a cluster of AMG collectors who had all known about the car and had all written it off. They were questioning its authenticity. They wrote it off. No one had ever bothered to have the car inspected. No one thought, okay, I'm gonna pay a little bit of money and have an inspector go and take pictures of all the stamps, check everything, check the documentation, check this, check that. No one had even bothered. They wrote it off. There are many reasons why things like this can happen in the car collecting hobby. In this case, I think there was a little bit more of a dark reason for it. Namely, I think that rumors were being spread to try and scare other people off, to try and beat the price of the car down. But no one had really ever had the thing inspected. So I have it inspected. And what I'm seeing makes us feel very confident that this is an excellent example with a lot of really special stuff going for it. Like really, really special car. 560 SEC, real 6-liter, 117, 119 car in a one-off color with a lot of really special, one-off options that you hardly ever see. Like this car has color-matched leather gauges. Super cool. Wildly cool. AMG would do anything if you'd pay them for it. So someone said, yeah, I want my gauges to match my dash. Leather, please. Wild stuff. And so it all looked really, really good. It was all really compelling. But Far be it from me to get out ahead of my own skis and jump on something that maybe was put together by an unscrupulous individual. Even though, again, the look of everything looked really good. It all looked like it had been that way for a very long time. Everything was really, really looked right. Send the photos to Jonathan Hodgman of Blue Ridge MB, so the resident AMG guru in certainly the US, if not one of the top guys in the world. And I send them to Stephen Duncan Peters over at Curated, who's also been studying these cars for a very long time. And I say, what do you think, guys? The response that I got from both of them when I sent them the car was they were shocked that anyone would have anything negative to say about this car. Jonathan said, oh yeah, I know this car. I have photos of this car from the mid 2000s. Yeah, I remember this car. This car is beyond legit. This is a super legit car, incredibly rare, full one-off car, totally unrepeatable in an unbelievable color with crazy options. This thing is amazing. But again, not one to rest on my laurels. I get a third opinion. So I go to Steven. Same thing. Oh yeah, I remember this car from like 10 years ago. I saw photos of it here and there, and it was all the exact same as it is now, back when these cars were not really worth anything, and the effort to build or create something like this would have wildly exceeded the value of the car, and you wouldn't have even been able to have an assemblage of those parts in one place. Yeah, I remember this car. Jonathan really, really knew the car. So I buy the car, bring it to the US, send it to Jonathan, who then, goes over everything with a fine-tooth comb and says, yeah, like this car is 100% the real deal. Everything is good on this car. This is a really, really special car. Remarkably, all the guys who were previously naysaying, previously trying to cast aspersions onto this car, full 180. This thing is legit now, everything is great. So I sold the car to a wonderful collector in California, father-son duo, who are really, really near and dear to my heart. Just they're wonderful people, just salt of the earth, so kind, and really, really passionate about pre-merger AMGs, are truly dedicated to having cars that have bulletproof histories, are really, really special, iconic, and unrepeatable examples. I could have gotten them a blue-black example multiple times over. This car, this green car, unrepeatable. I'm very proud that that car wound up in the most right home that it could have gone to. But it's a lesson in do your due diligence, do your homework. It's like in school, if someone's spreading a rumor that so-and-so smells bad and that they're, that it's probably completely made up for reasons that are self-serving by the people starting the rumors. And you have to investigate for yourself, and you have to bring in credible experts who have been around for a long time and know these things to back up the knowledge that you bring to it. I've been doing this for a while, but my ego isn't so overinflated that I think I'm above or beyond double checking my homework. Yeah, it's a lesson in do your homework, and when you have conviction that you've found something good, double check with someone else, and when they say you're good, just go with your gut, let her rip, and you might just wind up with a diamond.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for yourself or the automotive enthusiast in your life this holiday season? Well, look no further than Celebrity Machines. They make metal stamped, screen accurate replicas of the license plates that you'll see on the cars in the movies and television shows that you love. They've got almost every one you could possibly imagine. And in fact, if you've gotten one of our Car Trek license plates or the Japanese license plate from my Lamborghini Diablo SV, those were also from Travis. So you may already have some Celebrity Machines license plates hanging up in your garage or in the background of your Zoom calls. But regardless, check them out now. If you go to the link in the description below or use the code VINwiki at checkout, they're going to give you 20% off of your order. So check them out now, get some great gifts, and thank them for their support of VINwiki.